Alright guys, it's Radiant. Today I've got a video for how to command Edge of the Mist and get the maximum rewards for karma training. Here's the map of Edge of the Mist where everything's kind of its natural color after people cap their own stuff on their own side, but we're not interested in this one. I'll pull up this map, which we're going to have stuff color coded. Don't worry about what color each structure is and who has what. We'll just disregard that for example purposes, but do pay attention to the stuff I drew on the map. So most importantly, stuff in red are gates. Stuff in purple are walls, and then these circles are worm tunnels. I can zoom out. So that's a worm tunnel from there to there. They're color coded. The green worm tunnel from there to there. Blue goes from there to there. The orange one goes from there to there. But yeah, 80% of this video will be about karma train paths and routes for capturing each side and general paths, but we'll start out with some general info before we get into that. The first thing for general commanding, you want to tell your Zerg where you're going. So if you're like at Statuary and you're going Stone Gaze, tell them when you're at Statuary, tell them if we're going Stone Gaze next. That'll help minimize your tail, get your slow people a head start at going there after the stuff is capped. They'll immediately start going. You want a small tail, reason being if you have an incoming and a random Zerg versus Zerg just pops up in front of you, if you have a lengthy tail, those people won't be able to join the Zerg vs Zerg battle until maybe 10 or 15 seconds. You want your whole team in the Zerg vs Zerg battle immediately. You don't want the first 10 seconds with half your Zerg because then it may be too late. You also don't want your tail getting picked off randomly, stuff like that. You want to constantly be checking supply. Whenever you're in a capture circle, typically just try to check supply. See how much supply your group has. Remember, you get tons of supply in Edge of the Mist. If you have a Zerg at 80, you could have 800 supply. Keeps regenerate supply, 60 supply every 2 minutes, just really quick. Towers regenerate supply really quick. The reactors give you supply. So you get supply back a lot faster than in World vs. World. And you can afford to drop more flame rams. I drop 4 or 5 flame rams almost every gate when I have a pretty big Zerg because you get supply back super quick. Don't let that supply go to waste. Remember, the gates in Edge of the Mist have tier 2 defense, damage reduction, and then they also have tier 1 health. So they take a little bit longer to take down. I guess 1.75-ish times longer to take down than World vs. World. So you can drop more rams. Don't be that commander that just drops 2 flame rams at every single gate. Another thing you want to do when you're commanding, monitor orange swords constantly. You want to be checking where is each enemy Zerg, which color is it, which orange swords, so you don't have any random incoming that wipes your group. You want to typically, for maximum karma train, you want to avoid Zerg vs Zerg. The way you do that typically is if you know which colors at which orange swords, just imagine you're their color. Where would you go if you were them? Remember, capping stuff gives more rewards than Zerg busting, and if you're not the biggest Zerg, you're not going to think about Zerg busting too much anyway. So that's how that works. You want to watch for incoming. Tell your group whenever you're ramming, have a few people back, watch for incoming. Especially if the orange swords are near. Tell your group on team chat, okay, there's orange swords near, watch for incoming, there could be an incoming shortly. And that's pretty much basics for commanding. Make sure you regroup at spawn or keep whenever you lose a lot of your Zerg. If half them died to a necro with the spectral wall, or they died arrow carts and you pull away, or you escape a Zerg for Zerg, you want to be regrouping so that people don't leave the map and they can get back to you. Okay, so that's it for basics. Now to general karma training. I'll show you how to capture each side different ways depending on the situation, of course. We'll start with Badlands, the easiest one. Typically Badlands, start with airport. You may be entering airport from the Needle, south of Needle area. You might go here and then drop down. You might be entering from the north side. You're going to want to, before you get to airport, just mine the oil nearby, or there will even be oil there, depending on whichever direction you come from. Mine the oil, kill the champ, and then after the champ's down, about 10 seconds after the capture, the event will start, and then just hand the oil and leave. That'll give you free dynamic event completion. And then the easiest way to capture Badlands, keep the quickest. You'll go south after capturing airport, take this gate. The reason why you don't typically want to go this gate up here is because there's a turret like right here. It'll knock you off the rams. It'll take a lot longer, but that turret doesn't hit this gate up here. The problem with this gate is if they have arrow carts and they're defending, there's 2 spots here and there. The arrow cart, they'll kill you. But if they're not defending, if you don't see them, or if they haven't defended yet, just go ahead and go this gate. Take workshop. If you go down here after capturing workshop, there's a hole you can look up for a quick teleport to get there. Most of your Zerg won't know about it. If you don't know about it, it's fine. I got a YouTube video on it, but most people just exit and just go wrap around like this and then go blow up this wall. Watch for arrow cards up here. Hold control on your keyboard as you approach that wall. Check for arrow cards. If there's arrow cards, immediately tell your team about the arrow cards. Tell them to AoE it. Get elementals to meteor shower. If you're an elementals, meteor shower it. If you don't have any AoE you can use on it, use the airstrike grenade on it from airport. You should always have some pre-purchase. Once the wall goes down, go straight to the champ. Make sure once you get to the champ, hold control on your keyboard. Check this area. You'll see you're close enough to be able to see. Hold control. Check that area for arrow cards. If there's arrow cards there, send your Zerg there immediately. You'll have a lot of people wipe if you don't take them down. And then after you capture the keep, just exit this way. After you drain supply, always drain supply from any structure you take. Go that way to take reactor, drop down, take worm. And then if you don't have stone gaze, you can worm tunnel stone gaze. Or you can worm tunnel statuary if you have stone gaze. Or if you want to hit Frostreach side, go back to workshop, get in devours. Once you're in devours, you can, if you don't have needle, I would actually just go for needle. Make sure as soon as you get to the gate, tell them to stay informed when gate goes down. Don't wait till the gate goes down to tell them to stay informed. That might be too late. Take needle, stay informed, kill the champion while you're in devours. Remember, he's really dangerous if he has RI. And then just continue on forge wall. If you have needle and you want to hit Frostreach side from the workshop in devours, just take this worm tunnel. If you have worm tunnel, of course. And then whenever you take forge wall, I like to tell them stay informed. And then I like to go this way and take the keep from south gate with devours. Now, if I know that this gate is sieged up already from a previous confrontation, you could actually have them go this way, have them go up here, and you'll go through double gate. I don't go through double gate much ever, but if you know this one's sieged up and you're approaching from the south side and you have devourers, it's okay to go double gate. But remember, this is a huge choke point, so you only go in there banking on hoping that they don't have siege set up on this gate because they know it's a less common gate. And then after you capture, or once you get in the keep, excuse me, if they have arrow carts, doesn't matter which side you enter from, if it's north or south gate. If they have arrow carts and they're defending, immediately take a left upon entry. So if you're south gate, take a left, go up this staircase, sweep all arrow carts before taking the champ. Or if you enter to the north gate and there's arrow carts up that you already see, that they were maybe already hitting your team, immediately go left up, take down the arrow carts. Now, if you take down the gate but there were no arrow carts ever hitting your team, just go straight for the champ. Otherwise, clear siege before going champ. Then after you capture the keep, you typically either go forge, bell tower, reactor, shrine, or you go shrine, bell tower, reactor, forge. The way you determine which one you want to do depends on whether or not you have needle, or whether or not you have Titone, or which one you want to go to next. So if you want to go to Titone next, you should end at shrine. If you want to go to needle next, you end at forge. And that's just to be efficient with your routes. Now remember, if you're going bell tower and they have siege up there, you want to go up top and around instead of going through the gate and clear the arrow carts before dropping down. Okay, so now if you're capping Frostreach side but you're going, let's say, bell tower first, every time you enter bell tower, like let's say you're not devours because you just maybe went from here, if you hold control on your keyboard when you get to bell tower, look up for arrow carts immediately. There could be arrow carts here or there. If they are, you need to AoE them down immediately. Forget the champ, AoE them down. Tell your group to AoE too. Or else your team's you're gonna lose like half your team in the capture circle because that's a huge choke point. Alternatively, if you know there's arrow carts at bell tower from a previous encounter and you want to capture Frostreach side, let's say you're going from the north, instead of going bell tower, just hit shrine gate, and then you can just go shrine to keep. You can go straight to keep, whatever. Usually, like let's say we take down bell tower, we enter. I like to go towards shrine first. I like to go up through the sentry, and then when I'm up here, I ask a person X up and go to the keep north gate, check if there's arrow carts or not. If it looks like it's being defended, then we'll not go to the keep. But either way, I'm going to go from sentry, drop down to shrine. Every time you capture shrine, activate claw with the 3 pressure plates, stand on it for the dynamic event completion. Depending on whether or not my person told me it was defended will determine if I go keep or if I go back around for a reactor and forge. Or if I couldn't get anyone to X up, then just exit shrine this way, take a peek at the keep, hold control. If it's sieged up and they're defending, just leave it, just go straight and away. If it's not defended, go ahead and drop rams after clearing the NPCs. Another thing about, whenever we're devouring, from previously, whenever we're devouring, there's like a safe spot here. Have the devourers there, have people aren't in devour, clear the NPCs up there. And that's pretty much how you capture the Frostreach side. one of the stealthier routes to get to Southgate. Usually you go this way, but for whatever reason, maybe you're coming from Reactor, you want to go Southgate, you can actually go like this, and that's how you get to. That's another way to get to Southgate. But 99% of the time, you either go Northgate or Southgate. Never go Triple Gate. And then if you really have to, go Double Gate and Devours, but only in Devours. And if you know this is sieged up, otherwise take Devours to South. That's how Frostreach works. Now for Overgrowth side, typically you don't spawn into the map hoping to capture Overgrowth side or too excited to capture it because it takes the longest to capture. That's because the Keep has the longest champ, and then Observatory has 3 different levels you have to cap. So usually for Overgrowth side, you'll take Statuary to start it off, and then you'll want to go this way to Altar because that's where it's easier to get to a gate there. If you go Observatory, if you want to get to the gate, there's a really tough jump that you can do to get straight to the gate like that. In all honesty, your Zerglings aren't going to be able to do it. Most of the time you need swiftness. You're going to have to end up going here and then up this kind of spiral thing here and then wrap around. It's a really long route, so just go Altar first. Take Altar immediately. I don't typically like to do the event. It takes maybe a minute or two, and having more people doesn't help because only one person can grab the stuff at a time from each drop. So you can't get your whole Zergling, get the dynamic event ward like you can at Shrine and Airport. And then I typically take this sentry, and if you need supply, you go Reactor. But either way, you're going to hold control on your keyboard. Check for siege up here. Check for players. If it's not being defended and you have supply, just go straight to one of these 2 gates. If you need supply, supply up at the Reactor. And if it's not being defended after you supply, just go take the Keep. Otherwise, if it's being defended, just bail, go to Observatory, go top, middle, then lower. Reason for that is if there's an incoming and you have the top captured, you can sneak out the middle and bottom sometimes, but if it was vice versa and you need to get the top, well, if you send your Zerg up to the top, the middle and bottom's right open, they can recap it because you don't get RI on the champs until the whole thing flips, so that's what makes it frustrating. The reason why you want to go to either of these 2 gates instead of this gate when capturing Overgrowth Fane is because if you go this gate, well, there's a mortar right here. If they have mortar mastery, concussion barrage on this bridge, your whole Zerg's getting knocked off. You have to regroup and you have to waypoint because you can't get revived. You'll be falling off the map totally. Another thing, if they have a treb here, they treb you here, all Zerg knocked off. So either go this gate or this gate. If you see siege like kind of here and you want to go this gate, or if you want to go to this side but there's siege there, I would typically go to this gate here and place like max range rams at 360 radius here. Remember, if they have siege here, you can actually take it down with a ballista if you place it there. Make sure your ballista is out of arrow cart range. The way you do that, hold control on your keyboard and then search for the arrow cart, then backpedal until you can no longer see the arrow cart name. That's when you know you're out of arrow cart range. Drop your ballista, and then as it's being built, go back forward to the arrow cart, hold control, lock onto it, target it, then back up, get on your ballista, use skill 3 if you have ballista mastery, and it'll one-shot the arrow cart. Now once you get into the champ, it has 2 silvers that are linked together and then a champ that's invulnerable until the silvers go down. Tell your group, pull the silvers apart, pull the amuletos apart. That'll make them take regular damage, otherwise they have like 80% damage reduction or something. Once those silvers go down, the champ can revive them. If he revives them, they'll be revived to half health, and then you can't kill the champ until those go down, and then you want to spam out stuns basically once the silvers go down so that the champ doesn't revive them. And then after that you'll capture, drain supply, take reactor, whatever. That's how Overgrowth side works. That's why you don't want to capture Overgrowth side typically unless there's no other move, because you want to, it just takes forever doing the keep, and the observatory takes a long time too. Another thing about this map, there's a lot of areas where there's 2 walls right next to each other. If you catapult and you aim right for the center between those 2 walls, you'll hit both walls at once. Same for here, same for here, same for here. The only reason you would ever do that is, for one, if you don't want orange swords, that's why you'll catapult instead of ram. Another thing, if you know you're not going to take the keep, you have the option of doing that, because that'll make it more likely for you to be able to get back in through that spot later, because that's 2 walls you took down instead of 1, and they take 220 supply to repair. If you know you're going to capture the keep, well then the walls repair anyway, and there's no point, you just ram it to be quicker. Okay, so another thing about this map in general, now more general stuff about the map. The northern towers, it's a lot quicker to take them from the inside than the outside here. The reason for that is It's a big choke point out here, and they have like 3 veterans that do a lot of damage right on the choke point, and there's 2 burning oils, and there's cannons. Burning oils won't do anything unless they're manned. The NPCs won't do anything. But the NPCs that do damage, you have to look up top, take them out, tell your group where they are, AoE them, or if you have a clutch mesmer, they can use the pull, make it a lot easier to see. That's why it typically takes a lot longer to go from the outside. So if I have a preference, I'll take it from the inner side if I can. Unless the map, I'm just entering from over here, I'll just go outer side. I won't go out of my way to go inner side. Problem with the inner side, or the only problem really, is statuary. If you don't have it and the super cannon's manned, which is kind of rare, it can fire the super cannon right at you there or there, and it'll knock your group off the bridge. Some of them will fall off completely, some will fall to the below area, and you'll have to waypoint your group after that, after you capture it. Another thing, if you are commanding and you are outmanned, then you'll want to use the underpass a lot. So like going from here up to there, going from here to the middle, you can go that way, or like go this way, you can enter to the juncture. Juncture is the below part. If you're statuary, you can go down to the underpass there. The reason why you go to the underpass if you're outnumbered is you don't want to be Zerg versus Zerg, and it's more stealthy. People don't typically go there. So you can enter blah blah blah. And then if you're not having a lot of DPS on the champ, ask for might stacks. And the only other underpass there is like Badlands side. You can go from workshop, you can take the underpass here, underpass to the keep. The only reason you'd ever take that path to the keep is if you know from a previous encounter there's arrow carts there. Or you could even take the underpass, just go up to get to Worm. So yeah, those are the routes I take. The routes that I told you when I use for general for capturing sides. I don't always 100% go this way when I capture stuff. Like on Badlands side, if there's like orange swords here, and I'm kind of over here, I'll consider going Worm Tunnel in fear of these people backtracking to get us at Workshop. So depending on the map, you might adjust just a little bit the side that you go, and that's pretty much the main routes that I like to use. Remember, when you're doing Zerg vs Zerg, if you're a lot bigger than them, I typically just charge right at them. I don't place arrow carts much if we're a lot bigger, because then we're waiting for them to come to us, and if they're smaller, they're not going to do that. And I don't want to stalemate. If you're a lot bigger, just rush right at them, immediately take down the arrow cart build sites and the arrow carts, and then before killing your Zerg. Now, if you're smaller and there's an incoming, stay where you are, drop arrow carts immediately. You need them flash built. You need your arrow carts to stay up, and then hopefully maybe there's a choke point your arrow carts can hit, but the arrow carts are the only way you're going to win when outnumbered. Otherwise, you got to run. So that's how that works. The reason why you don't want to do a lot of Zerg vs Zerg, if you don't have to, is because you get less rewards from bags than you get from captures. Another great thing to do when you want to Zerg vs Zerg, the best thing you can do is ambush them. If they're like in a northern tower on the inner side and you ambush them, or if they're here and you ambush them. If the structure's not yours and you ambush them, that's even better. Like, ambush them, kill them, steal the capture. That's the best thing you can do at a tower. Best thing you can do at a keep. But only do that when the opportunity presents itself. You got to know that you're bigger. Of course, when you're ambushing them here, make sure you ask for Veil. Drop down an arrow cart kind of before you charge into them, because you know they can't scatter. Another thing about the northern towers, from Titan, if you want to go from the outer side to the inner side, you can go this way, jump below, and then you can kind of wrap around and go back up top. Alternatively, you can do the same thing. If you drop down, you can jump and then get to the outside. You only really want to do that if there's like a Zerg on this side you're trying to ambush or something. Same thing for Stone Gaze, except for it's a little bit different. You'll go down here, you can jump to this way to get here, but you can't go back. The reason why is when you go this way, you're dropping down, and so you can't go back up. And that's pretty much it. Needle has no walls. Oh yeah, okay. So walls on these, walls are more likely to be repaired at the northern towers than the gates. So never go the wall, never hit the wall if it has supply, unless you're stuck on the outer side and you know the burning oil is manned. Otherwise, just go for the gate. You don't want the wall being repaired, it just takes forever. And lastly, you don't want to be doing much defense, so if your side's being attacked, you usually just let it flip. Make sure you're capping stuff elsewhere as your side's flipping, and then after your side flips and they've waypointed out or the enemy's left your side, then you can waypoint back and just back cap your stuff. So that's how you get a lot more rewards, because you don't get as much rewards when you defend, so just let your side flip, cap it back later. You want to give 30 seconds to a minute minimum after they cap your side. You have to give them enough time to leave your side before you waypoint back to cap your side, because if they're still at observatory and you go make orange swords that they keep, well, they might think, okay, it's convenient, they can just run back and repel you pretty quickly and get loot bags. So give them enough time to leave your side before you go capture it back. And whenever you're ready to waypoint back to capture your side back, always link the spawn on map chat. Tell them we're going to take 30 seconds to a minute to sell at merchant to regroup, allow everyone to port back. And typically, if you're Overgrowth or Frostreach, you want to cap your keep back first. If you're Frostreach, it's because you don't want the movement debuff. If you're Overgrowth, you just want to get the keep back so you can have NPCs on your side. You want to make sure you secure your keep, and then you go cap the rest of your stuff. You don't want to get repelled. You don't want to like take one of these first and then give the enemy side enough time to spam the waypoint or get back. The only exception is if you're Badlands, you want to get Workshop first, then just devour your keep. That'll speed it up. Then of course go to Reactor, Worm, Airport, and then continue your path. But that's how you do it. So remember, minimize defense, maximize captures. Minimize Zerg vs Zerg unless you're ambushing, and or at least you know you're bigger. Last thing you want in Zerg vs Zerg is a stalemate, whereas a choke point, you just all have arrow cards up. No one will go after the other one. That's just a terrible situation. And keep moving fast. Tell people where you're going. Always spend supply. Build a lot of flame rams. Don't build 2 rams at each gate. Move fast. Maximize captures. Maximize world experience. Maximize karma. Help the up levels level up, and that's how you will command the best karma train that you can do. And there you guys have it. Hope it helped. Questions in the leave some questions if you need to, and I'll always read them. And you guys have it. Thanks for watching.